Nearly 100 people have died in Yemen. It was Eid payout that turned fatal. A mere $9 check that people have sacrificed their lives for. In our next story, we tell you more about the prices that the Yemeni people had to pay for a war that they had no role in. Let's take a look.
Dozens of people shouting, screaming, reaching out for help as they desperately try to escape the crush of the crowd. 89 people have been killed and scores injured at a Ramadan payout in Yemen. The stampede happened at a school in the old city of Sana'a, where hundreds of people had gathered to receive charitable donations in the final days of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. These gifts, donated by merchants, amounted to about $9 per person. Reports based on witness accounts say armed Houthis fired into the air in an attempt at crowd control, apparently striking an electrical wire and causing it to explode. That sparked a panic, and people, including many women and children, began stampeding.
All of the officials have undertaken their legal duties to look into this tragic accident and find a serious response so that such a tragedy will not happen again. We are living through a great tragedy. Some of our citizens died this evening because of this stampede.
The Interior Ministry has blamed random distribution as the cause of the stampede. 3 businessmen have also been arrested related to the incident. The Houthis have meanwhile said that they would pay around $2,000 in compensation to each family who lost a relative, while the injured would get around $400. Yemen has been described by the UN as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The country has seen war and bloodshed for the last 9 years. The economy is in tatters. Politics is in shambles. 2/3 of the country's population is in dire need of humanitarian assistance, while tens of thousands are living in famine. The country's conflict began as a civil war in 2014, when Houthi forces stormed the capital Sana'a and toppled the internationally recognized and Saudi-backed government. It spiraled into a wider war in 2015, when a Saudi-led coalition intervened in an attempt to beat back the Houthis. But eventually, with Iran's entry into the picture, Yemen ended up as a hot ground for a proxy conflict. But there is some hope in sight. Last week, a Saudi delegation arrived in Sana'a for talks with the Houthis. The negotiations were aimed at securing a permanent ceasefire. Last Friday, negotiations bore their biggest fruits yet. There was a successful 3-day prisoner swap of nearly 900 detainees from both sides. The talks will now go for round 2. The tragedy was the deadliest Yemen has seen in years, and it was not related to the country's long-running war. The tragedy was the result of years of economic desperation and came ahead of the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Fitr, which marks the end of Ramadan.